an order where corporate greed thrives. It's the marginalized who pay the price. It's time to rewrite the story. Time to rise. We're breaking the chains of corporate greed. This is the fight, this is the need. For the poor and the voices unheard. We're the truth, we're the word. Big cannon falls, can't hide the lies. From the ground up we rise. We rise.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Welcome to F'nAround with Mo, Joe, and Mike.
Hello.
Welcome back.
So now we're coming at you with our first or live with iHeartRadio 365. Thanks to our new radio partner, DJ Baby Doll Radio. So today we'll be trying to talk about or try to stay on the topic of with Sam Williams?
Wilson.
Sam Wilson, and the story of support your local weed.
Man.
Support your local weed.
You got this.
And you made fun of me. Remember?
Hey,
Wait, stop. Remember we filmed that skit and we did the package,
Hey,
and you made fun of me because I couldn't mess it up.
I'm gonna release raw footage of that skit.
Feel free to release it. But we'll release raw footage of this. Just so you know, you're doing the same
It's
thing.
okay. We'll release raw footage of this.
Okay.
Hey, who's the editor here?
You.
Who's exactly what raw footage?
Is that release? No.
So we're here to talk about the story of support your local weed man, and his business with the Prohibition, and your business over here starting up with the Prohibition THC Cafe. So shout out first of all to Prohibition THC Cafe.
Shout out.
Prohibition
Yeah.
THC.
Come visit.
And our guest for hosting us.
South Loop,
to
next
be
to
our
Reggie's.
guest.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you started off with this?
So I founded Support Your Local Weed Man in 2019. I kind of saw that corporate cannabis was going to hijack an industry that for over 50 years was used to destroy black and brown communities, particularly black communities. And I wanted to spread awareness to the fact that that was going to happen. And with it being a new industry, society always speaks about pulling yourself up from the bootstraps and, making whatever opportunity you can. When quite naturally, there's an agenda by these big corporations to actually hijack these industries and not allow for the small grassroots people to actually gain access to these industries. So I wanted to just spread awareness. And in doing so, I was able to partner up with my friend Tyrone Muhammad, who oversees an organization called ECCSC, Ex-Cons for Community and Social Change. And just with what he was already doing and what the brand messaging was, it was just an ideal partnership for us to go together and fight this battle against corporate greed and corporate cannabis. And in doing so, we were able to gain access and create this model, Prohibition THC Cafe. And, it's been amazing to be able to walk in and create the opportunities in the hemp space that should have been what the cannabis space looked like. But, we're here now, Prohibition THC Cafe, 2113 South State. It's definitely an opportunity for those who want to gain access in the industry and couldn't because of the pitfalls of the cannabis industry. So, it's been a nice run.
So what is it that what were you doing way before before you even ever started to think about getting into the cannabis industry?
Yeah.
Before who is Sam?
Yeah, so Sam, for 19 years I was a lieutenant. Well, I was retired as a lieutenant on the fire department. I'm still a paramedic to this day. I don't practice, but I was on the fire department and serving the public.
Shout out to first responders.
Appreciate
Shout
it.
out to first responders.
Thank you to all the first responders.
Appreciate it.
So, talking about your causes and your partner, Tyrone's causes, how do people support it, or how do people get involved with it or get behind it?
So right now we have a physical location, Prohibition THC Cafe. We also have products and a movement T-shirt, which you can see right behind us on supportyourlocalweedman.com. And we're also putting together a hemp coalition, which is basically a minority-based hemp coalition to combat corporate cannabis agenda to hijack the industry. So we that should be rolling out in the next couple weeks or so, where we're putting together other stakeholders in the space that are looking to combat corporate cannabis agenda to stomp us out.
Oh, wow. Mike, what do you got to say?
Well, I'm curious. I've never seen a business like this in Chicago before, right? And I was walking through. I was looking at your display cases and your menus.
The ice cream.
Everything. Honestly, everything. I mean, there's something for everyone here, honestly.
Right.
But I'm curious, because I saw it said THCA.
Right.
And then I've heard of that. I don't really know what it is. But I've know that it's something it's in some way, shape, or form different in that you can sell it outside of a dispensary, right?
Right. So in 2018, a farm bill was passed, which legalized hemp on a federal level.
Okay.
And through understanding the plant and understanding the different cannabinoids that's inside of the plant, and some innovative thinking, an industry has blossomed and was created because of the 2018 Farm Bill that made hemp federally legal.
Okay.
So basically, it's a comparable product to that's in the dispensary, but without technically going through a lot of the pitfalls and issues and regulatory issues that the cannabis industry has. So we're operating in the federally legal space, and they're operating in the federally illegal space still.
Gotcha.
So it's basically, some innovative thinking, some science behind it, but it's just different cannabinoids in the plant that have similar effects to that of THC.
Okay, so it's the same, but it's the same plant. It's just another part of the plant?
Well, it's a different plant in terms of definition when
Okay.
it comes to the definition of hemp and the definition of cannabis.
Okay.
But, technically, the definitions are what create the laws.
Right.
And in this one, this is under hemp and not cannabis.
Right, gotcha.
So is hemp then a separate plant than cannabis? Is that
It's a separate plant by definition.
okay?
Yes.
All right, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
So a question on that then, because I've seen some dispensaries in Chicago, not really other states, but like in Chicago and Illinois, where actual growers in this state are putting out on the shelves THCA products. And if you read the label,
sure.
it's showing 30 to 48%, 8% THCA with less than 1%, sometimes 0% actual THC
100%.
for dispensary prices. Why are they doing that?
Well, I mean, you saying why are dispensaries doing it?
Why are the businesses doing it? If you can just sell that online or sell it anywhere else because it's legal, why would they be charging actual?
Well, I mean, it's corporate greed at the end of the day. It's about, driving revenue and profits. That's the main thing for them. So at the end of the day, if they can label and mislead the customer to drive revenues up, it's kind of what they're all about.
Shouldn't some regulatory group get involved with that already? Isn't that some type of consumer fraud?
That's what you would imagine.
Because like you said, they're two different plants.
Right, but so they'll think about it this
One's
way.
federally illegal, one isn't.
But if it's not falling under the cannabis rule, because it's falling under hemp and THCA, but you're being charged cannabis dispensary prices while you buy it, how are they getting
You're
away?
buying something that you're not really purchasing, or they're charging for something that you're not really actually paying for.
Right?
Yeah, it can be a little bit
Or
misleading.
what's the other one? The deltas.
It's misleading,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
Like, so then how do those differ from?
So, like I said, it's just different cannabinoids that's within the plant that they've given these titles and labels to, and the laws may only regulate one particular cannabinoid. You know what I mean? So,
What's the differences between right now the I guess like the deltas and the different THCs and the like are they different? Or what kind of like highs do they have for them? What kind of
So with the deltas, you can delta like delta 8, for instance, you can expect probably a mild or high, but it doesn't have as high of a psychoactive effect.
Okay.
But and that's when you start looking at this plant from more of a therapeutic approach instead of just a thing of just to get high. Every one of these different cannabinoids have some type of benefit, and I think that's important as you start to become a consumer to understand how and what this particular strand or cannabinoid can actually do for me in terms of benefit. Okay. Unless you're just trying to get high, then that's just a different story, But there's a huge population of people that actually want to use this plant holistically and from the healing point. So,
Right.
So it has its purpose.
So would you go?
The difference.
So would you mind moving the mic a little toward this way when you're talking to us? Or like kind of angle like I did?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Sorry about that.
No
I just
problem.
wanna-
So if you're trying to use it more like holistically or more like medically, right?
Yeah. So you like
medicinal.
you have some people that don't want to get like extremely high, but they kind of like the soothing, relaxing effect.
So you'd go for which one then?
I would say you go with like a Delta 8. You know
Like
what
a
I mean?
Delta?
That'd be more of a milder high that you can get from there.
And the higher number, the stronger the.
I don't think it's
like,
like,
like
it's
the-
not about a number. No.
Is it because like I know there's like a Delta 8, Delta 9, and it, like
Yeah.
So what's the differences
So-
between the numbers?
Because he's new to this.
Right.
Yeah, I don't.
For everyone else who's listening who's not familiar,
Gotcha.
and knows about as much knowledge as him, where can they? Sorry about that. Where can they go to learn about it without going to a dispensary
Yeah.
and going to get ripped off? Where can the normal consumer go to actually get the products that can help them without paying those 30% in taxes in Illinois?
Well, I think the first place you should go to is Prohibition THC Cafe, 2113
Yeah,
South
shout
State.
out.
Shout out to Prohibition THC.
That'd
South
be the
Loop,
first place.
next to
and then,
Renter's.
and if you're not locally available to come visit us, you can go online at supportyourlocalweedman.com, and we'll be more than happy to get those products shipped to you within one day.
Oh, you do shipping too?
We do shipping, yep.
Oh,
You do
that's
30%
cool. All right.
taxes too?
Sorry?
Is it 30% taxes?
It's not a 30% tax.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Direct to your door.
direct to your door. So yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, what type of products can they get?
Yeah.
Wow, so man, we got online, we got edibles, we got flour, we got pre-rolls, vapes. We don't have.
You got some of them right here to
Yeah,
show
we got some
everybody. Yeah.
pre-rolls here.
You got
yeah.
great coffee, but I'm sure they can't ship that to you.
These are our diamond pre-rolls. You know, they're coated with the THCA coating, which makes them even more concentrated. But, you know, those are definitely going to give you the psychoactive effect that you're looking for.
That's the psychoactive effect that he'd be looking for right there.
Yeah.
You know you're supposed to pass it down, so, right? Everything that goes here is going to disappear.
Hey, listen.
It's just
It's
vanish.
gone.
It's going to
Hey.
vanish when it goes here.
I have a lighter here. I mean, we can always, you know.
I mean, I'm not gonna say no,
All right, well,
but
we
you
get
know,
this lit up so you can give it a sample here, you know.
So while he's setting that up and looking, I kind of want to let everyone know, and I mean, Sam,
What
I
are
kind
they- what
of
are
touched
they?
on it, but
Is this-
just so
that's-
everyone's very
is this
aware of
your
this
mug
show.
right there?
Yeah, this one mug, yeah.
So what is you sell those cups too?
We will be selling these.
You
yeah.
gues, okay, that's not out there yet.
Yeah, this is
All right.
exclusive one right here.
Well, that's
Oh,
exclusive.
one of one.
First view right there. and then what else? So we got right here some gummies, some edibles right there.
Yep.
Then they make some coffee where you can get it. There's normal coffee, version coffee, if you will.
Yep.
or infused.
Yep.
And they got some swag, some hats and shirts and everything. We actually tried to get some earlier to help support the business over here.
Appreciate it.
But you guys are already sold the hell out
Yeah.
online
Well,
and over
on
here.
which one?
For the hats and for the shirts.
Oh yeah, we
Yeah.
putting them back in stock.
Yep.
So make sure you go online
Yep.
after you hear this to go pick some up.
Yep.
And as Mo's bringing up, it's kind of touching on, just so you're aware, we're not monetized yet as a show. We're just doing this
Yes.
to spread the truth and what's going on in corporate industries across the border, not only in Illinois, but across the country. So every time we touch a new industry, we're going to pick causes that represent the industry and the people that are affected by the corporate greed and issues. And for our whole segment on marijuana, we will be pushing Support Your Local Weed Man as the cause we support. When we are monetized later, it will change where we can actually put a percentage of the proceeds to those causes. But as a non-monetized show, we're going to push support in our advertisement and what we're doing for our spots, making sure we send it their way, and we want you to support their cause for the people who are actually hurt by the corporations we're discussing and try and make a difference.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Couldn't have said it better myself, and I didn't.
we know he couldn't have. Could have read it 12 times and still would have missed it.
I figured I'd jump in and help out a little bit.
Oh man. That's how you guys feel right now.
All right,
That's how
so
we're going.
this is that Jack Herrera that you just passed around.
Yes, it is.
That's,
Do I look like Elon Musk? Smoking?
yeah,
young-
Oh, yeah.
just like
We're waiting for the review. I mean, come on. Be as pompous as possible.
Yeah.
Like that.
I want to hear about
No.
the Great Poupon.
I mean, it tastes like any other weed I've ever tried. I've never tried these before, but I will say, I mean, it's definitely coated in, keef.
Diamonds, right?
Diamonds. Sorry, diamonds.
A girl's best friend. They last forever.
Mike's best friend.
No, it is.
No,
It smokes good for sure. I'll let you know in about maybe 15 minutes how
So
going?
Mike's claim is that he cannot get high.
Oh no,
No.
Off
That was
edibles
never my
specifically?
claim.
edibles,
Off edibles specifically.
ingestibles, off ingestibles.
Okay. All right.
Right.
Alright,
You know, I
so-
was told by some guy at some dispensary at some point that everybody's different, and you know, some people, you know, your body just processes the stuff differently, so you're just not gonna probably get it.
Yeah.
You know, the high effect from eating it. You know, I'm like, all right, cool. And so that's kind of. You know, if somebody offers me something, I may take it, but I'm not expecting much out of it.
So for the record, we're on the challenge now. You know, before he leaves, we got to do a follow-up video after he drinks his
yeah,
beverage.
we will.
Oh, yeah.
bonus,
Right.
bonus footage.
Oh yes. It's got a nice
He's gonna be on his ass the whole time.
Yeah.
Just looking at the
It's got a nice smell to it. I like the
Yeah.
after smell around it.
It's very, it's very
I
aromatic.
mean, I smoked cigarettes for about 20 years, and that after smell now, as someone who's not smoking cigarettes, it's
horrible.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
But this has got that nice
Absolutely.
smell going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. It's a nice little aroma.
No, for sure.
So it burns nicely.
It smells like it burns nicely.
Yeah, so every product we carry is a support your local weed man product. So that's our brand.
Yeah.
And the physical store is our Prohibition THC Cafe. So you'll see we got our own labeling for our flour. We got our own labeling for our edibles. Everything's branded support your local weed man.
Yeah.
All right, just
So-
the way it should be.
I'd say we never got to the right now the differences of like the numbers right now, right?
Right.
Because I'm still lost right now.
Bring it back.
I wanna so yeah, because I don't really smoke, right? Like
Right.
I've smoked a while ago.
Wait,
That
hold
was-
on. Why am I the only one who just smoked? I saw you hit that thing once and,
I
and
did,
put
man.
it down. You know, like
He knows how
what
strong
do
it is.
you know what's the deal here? What's happening?
I guess.
I don't know.
You're like, wait, why is it not back in my hand? Basically, he said,
That is another
hands that over here.
walking in here. I saw it was written
Right.
on the wall. Pass. You
You're
know,
like, sir, you're not following your own rules.
I just
Your house, your rules. I'm
Yeah.
trying to follow your rules.
I don't mean to be rude,
Yeah.
you know, but
Hey, what are you trying to say about us? Then?
Right.
well, that's what I'm saying. Well, I know you won't take this, and I know he won't take this. So what I'm trying to do is
Take it for the both of us.
I'm trying to take it for everyone out there who's never tried this product, the THC, this
Yep.
THCA, and you know, I'm telling you, so far, I'm impressed. You know, when that stuff came out, was it
I think
what
you
do
might
they
need
call
to
it?
you might need to
K2?
ash right now, right?
When that K2 stuff came out, I remember I got a free sample of it
Yeah.
from like a glass shop, and me and some friends smoked it, and we were like, it tastes like potpourri, right? We didn't like it, never smoked it again, and you know, now I think it's been criminalized now too, right?
Oh
You
yeah.
can't really see.
But that's a totally different class. Like that shouldn't even be brought up in the same conversation with that mess that they was putting out. When it comes to the THCA and the hemp space, you gotta understand that was technically it was federally legalized in 2018. So technically speaking, weed has been legal since 2018 outside of the definition of cannabis. You know what I mean? So
Sure.
right now you just have corporate cannabis trying to kind of come in and find a way to monopolize the industry before it's federally legal. But you know, technically weed is legal nationwide if you look at the way that the hemp 2018 bill was written, Farm Bill.
Did you see how they're doing Georgia though now, where they're making it THCA illegal?
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's because
They're making it illegal.
illegal now in Georgia. So even though it's federally legal, the state itself is making it illegal and criminalizing it because of the fact that, as he said, corporate cannabis. So they're on their way, right?
100%.
Cannabis doesn't like THCA.
No, because they know it's a comparable product that a lot of people can get access to the industry in, as
Right.
long as you have, because the barriers of entry aren't as high as the cannabis industry.
Yeah, and the taxes aren't as high.
Exactly. So what you have right now in each one of these states, you have corporate cannabis coming in and basically lobbying and rubbing elbows with elected officials to change the language. Even at some point, they got in on the federal level where they're even trying to change the definition of hemp to close what they call the loophole that allowing industries like ours to be able to operate.
So who would that affect the most if they close that loophole?
Well, I mean, honestly, it'll affect everybody the most, you know, in terms of like when you look at black ownership, minority ownership, even just small guy that want to get access into the industry.
Small businesses.
It'll definitely have a major impact on them. But even more so, just your everyday American, because now you're not looked at as a potential entrepreneur. You're looked at as just a consumer, And at that point, when we destroy small business, I mean, that's kind of the strength and might of America right there, So I think that any of our elected officials and these lobbyists who are putting their efforts towards assisting corporate cannabis at hijacking this industry are doing a disservice for this country as a whole.
So who, and I guess I'm not going to ask for names, but is there a lobby for this, more entrepreneurial, grassroots, small business
In the hemp space?
In the hemp space.
Right now there isn't any. There are groups who haven't come together and put the messaging together the right way to be able to handle the Goliath that we are up against when it comes to the corporate cannabis. But I do see in the very near future it being a little bit more of a structured approach to handling how we fight against corporate cannabis in this space.
Yeah, because I imagine corporate cannabis or big canna, however you want to call it.
I like that big
Big
canna.
canna.
They're gonna have
Big canna.
Shout out to Big Canna.
Oh man,
No, shout out to Big Canna.
they are spending a lot of money monthly with lobbyists and elected officials to basically do away with us. They spend a lot of money. So
Right. It's like the auto industry, the tobacco industry,
Yeah.
It's just a new one.
alcohol industry. They all have their own lobbies who are
100%.
pushing their goals or trying to lessen the effects of whatever bills or laws they're trying to make.
Right.
But, there's nobody really there fighting for you.
Well,
is what it
we
seems
fight for.
like.
One thing about it is, I put a lot of time and effort into working in public safety. I'm at a point in my life I don't need nobody to fight for me. Me and my partner Tyrone Muhammad. Had it not been for the efforts that we spent last year down in Springfield and meeting with elected officials and explaining them the importance of this industry, corporate cannabis would have very well won and had this ban. They got bills placed out right now that could potentially get us banned. And, they push the agenda on the news that it's a public health emergency or we're selling to children. We actually have more stringent rules at our location than they do when it comes to age verification, product testing. We follow a lot of the same regulatory expectations that they have on our end, and we don't even have to. But
So you don't-
because we
Yeah,
wanna be
we all got ID'd walking in the door.
And
absolutely.
you don't have to use radiation to make sure you pass the test.
Exactly.
Wait,
And then
what?
honestly,
You gotta.
What's that?
so you
Radiation?
have to, do you want to touch base on it?
no, you can
Oh, so you have to have certain levels for microbes and stuff and pass below it to pass the testing. So some states say that after you're tested, if you fail, you can't radiate the product and remove all that stuff and retest it. So a lot of facilities now, Big Canna, as we'll say, we won't name names. It's really big right now in Connecticut, but they're starting to see it's countrywide. Before they send it in for testing, they're radiating all their product.
Oh, wow.
So to make sure they're guaranteed to pass.
pass microbe. Yeah.
Yep, pass the microbe test. So a lot of times what I've seen, like personally what I experienced when I was in Michigan was if it didn't pass the test, what they'd do is they'd automatically just process it. Because when you process it, you can clean it through the system and remove it out. So if it didn't pass for flour, you process the flour and brought it into the next level and brought it down and bring it down to the isolate or distillate, however we wanted to do it at the time. You could pass the test on the product, the flour. They didn't pass for consumption as flour. Mm-hmm. So that was one way to do it, but they're actually radiating it.
Right. So instead of potentially smoking, I guess, fungus, I guess is what,
Right.
microbes or whatever, it's plutonium. Like
Wait a second. Hold on. Wait. You telling me that we can't trust the product that corporate cannabis is putting out?
100%.
Oh, wow.
I wonder who else has said that message. I mean, seriously, just go on Google and look it up. It's been going really big in Connecticut, and they're starting to realize that a lot of the big places have been talking about it. New York had a hit up. Florida's had a hit up. It's been going around. I mean, there's a reason why over $100 million was spent to Big Canna in Florida pushing these bills and these agendas. Because if they control the agenda, they control the narrative. And then gentlemen over here like Sam are having issues move around, and he has to fight for his own rights as a small independent business owner when Big Canna joins together.
That's the thing that we pride ourselves on here. We work with small farmers, so all our products are hand sourced, and we keep a lot cleaner product here for sure.
Non-radiated.
Yeah, 100%.
Not radiated.
We keep the radiation out of it
You
for
should
sure.
put a sign in the window. We don't radiate our. Our hemp is radiation free.
Radiation free.
There it
Cage
is.
free.
There it is. Hemp is radiation free.
I just have this image in my head from The Simpsons of Homer just spraying his farms when he had a farm, just spraying the field with like, green glowing, stuff. And they're like, yeah, look at that glow. It's like, man, so, So, I mean, if you think about it, a lot of cancer patients who are going through chemo smoke weed to kind of lessen the effects. And look, I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist. It just seems weird that, where the kids, the weed is going through chemotherapy too. Like,
Oh my God,
the hell?
that is horrible.
They're radiating.
Right, like, now I'm like, what else are they radiating before it gets to a store?
Everything, probably. I mean, there's even food. I mean, actually, for the I believe it's the FDA, they have a little symbol, like radon or something. They have a little symbol they're supposed to put on every product for food that goes through radiation thing to clear off everything.
They don't have it on weed.
Nothing for wheat. Nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, it should be mandated.
It
No,
should
for
be on
sure.
there, yeah.
Yeah.
At the very least, damn.
Yeah, because people come with expectation that they're gonna get a quality product, and like you said, it's people who are sick who are using it holistically, and yeah, definitely that'll be negative for them.
Yeah,
So
imagine. Yeah. Well,
I was gonna say, so one of the things that did pop in my head, and we could keep going with this, but before we end today, some point I heard you talk about Tyrone's
Yep.
cause and what's going on and how it tied into yours.
Right.
I don't think we gave that enough notice
No,
or time,
yeah.
and I really think he deserves to get his message
Yeah.
out there
No,
on
for
this
sure.
as well, even though he is not here with us.
Yeah.
If his message ties into your message, I think we need to make sure we tie it in so
No, for
everyone
sure.
listening can hear what his message is.
Yeah, my partner Tyrone Muhammad did 21 years in prison, and he came from the streets that were destroyed because of the cannabis prohibition. So the effort that Tyrone puts in is basically opportunity, behavior modification, mentorship. It's really what these urban communities need. People who have been affected by the inner city and have been products of the environment and now are coming back to try to contribute positively to it. But it seems like here in this city, for instance, somebody who's actually trying to make an impactful change, they don't get the access and opportunity that will allow them to be successful. When I met Tyrone, he had an organization full of young kids who have been affected and have served time. And that's a lot of responsibility for anybody to take on while you're trying to adapt back into society yourself. But what I saw in him was somebody who was passionate about making change in the community. And still to this day, he's fighting for anytime there's a new construction site, you want to ensure that there's some type of minority opportunities going on there and opportunities to spread the wealth. So I tip my hat to him. Tyrone, that's a brother.
Shout out to Tyrone.
Shout out to Tyrone.
Does he have a website or something that you can pitch for him so people can go look at it?
Yep, so his organization is ECCSC, Ex-Cons for Community and Social Change. You can go to their website, eccsc.org.
And we'll make sure we put both your websites in our little
In the
description
link,
at the bottom of this episode when you go to F'nAround.com so you can go directly to them and find them if you didn't hear him go through it or if you don't want to have to write it down. We'll make sure it's in the description for everyone.
All right,
Yes.
thank you.
Definitely. What was it about the Such Racist song?
You wanted him to pass it to you.
I did want you to.
What you need?
No.
I was just making
He
him
said,
go.
I see you eyeballing this, man. Like, why does it keep going out? This is the worst weed session ever. It's like,
He's like, I keep seeing I'm getting puffs and then everyone forgets to pass it back.
Look,
we need to come over
we're
here.
being responsible smokers right now.
We're trying to make a difference in the world and show how bad corporations are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's trying to break through the glass ceiling. And I've been saying this all week, and it kind of resonates with me. And you tell me what you think about it, Sam. But everyone wants to break through the glass ceiling, whether it be different sexes, different minorities, different religions. Everyone wants to break through. I think everyone's got to stop trying to break through the glass ceiling and sit at the table and just drop corporations' bottom line. Because who cares about joining them? We should just bring them back down to our level and make it all playing field. And the only way to do that is supporting local businesses, small businesses, craft grows, craft dispensaries. If you support the local businesses, they're not on a pedestal at a ceiling you got to break through anymore.
It's one reason why we're here.
I'm not opposed to corporations creating industries and being successful. The problem is when you get elected officials supporting their agendas to hijack industries and create higher barriers of entry for just common people who are supposed Americans that's trying to pull themselves up from the bootstrap. So it's more so our elected officials we got to hold accountable. And I think that's the part that everyone's missing. You know, corporate and people are greedy at the end of the day. And if they can get more, they're going to get more. But it's up to our elected officials, the people that we elect to sit in these offices, to make responsible decisions that can support the American dream. And that's the only thing that anybody should ever ask.
And I mean, I believe I said in one episode, a politician will always be a politician. But the issue is the politicians we want are usually the ones in the movies. So we'll stay away from politics as much as we can because it doesn't matter what side, they're all the same.
Yeah,
For the most part, absolutely. You know,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, look, I just saw a stat this week. 80% of the wealth in this country is inherited.
Oh, wow.
So that just shows you, look, most of these corporations, they've got their, their family businesses.
We know all about family business, don't we?
So, we started from nothing. So many of those stories are fake.
Yeah.
Like you're started from nothing. There's no,
Well, they met their like great grandfather, started from nothing, and now.
Oh, so they're
I'm talking about the same
Yeah,
stuff.
it all here it trickles down,
trickle down economics.
They get that story right now.
Right, you're not looking back far enough.
My great grandfather came over from Ireland during the potato famine.
Yeah.
Made a couple $1 million.
Yeah, he was breaking those knees in New York and making sure the other immigrants that came over were treated bad because he got treated bad.
Yep, that's it.
I'm Irish, by the way.
We got
Just making sure I throw that out there.
Oh man, I think I'm getting secondhand high right now.
Look at Mike. Mike's in the zone, the twilight zone. He's starting to realize he wasted all that money on Big Canna.
I'm big kid, yo.
I don't know about
Being
that. I
radiated
mean,
the whole time.
I will say this, and it's not a plug for it, but I remember, when I would buy, in college or whatever, now and then I'd get a bag and it would just stuff me up. I'd be congested. And I was like, oh, look, I guess I. No, and I'm like,
you up.
right, and I'm talking to some of my friends, and I'm like, I don't
Can we cut that?
I didn't get it though. It was green. It was weed. Okay, right. But what I was told was that hey, everybody's growing different shit, different places. There could be a fungus on it. There could be a microbe on it that you're just allergic to, and then that kind of stopped happening when I got to, the dispensary level stuff. But now I'm hearing the reason that didn't happen was because they were spraying it with radiation.
Oh, man. It's just you get a better product when you go to a small grow anyway. You know what I mean? Once you start doing something on a larger scale like that,
Economies.
It just comes along with it.
Right. I mean, look, I just don't want to know how the sausage is made. I think that's the moral of my story right there.
Remember that, was that movie with Keanu Reeves on Netflix where they're sitting there at the restaurant and they were eating the steak and they had to listen on the headphones about the cow's life and listen to cow bleed?
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I want to know how the cow felt. I want to experience the life-to-death cycle.
Yeah.
And they're sitting there with headphones listening to the thing and Keanu Reeves is sitting there crying as he's eating
It's
the
supposed to be more joy to the
steak.
food.
This was a comedy movie from what I remember.
It was a comedy movie.
It was,
Ellie Wong was her movie.
And it's supposed to be like, this is supposed to give you more joy to eating the steak? Or
It was supposed to be a
less-
play off
It
of the
was,
super expensive, like the tasting
Oh,
menus.
like
or-
the Michelin.
Yeah, the Michelin
okay.
star where you're
Yeah.
spending thousands and thousands of dollars
so
to
you-
have 12 dishes.
you order the veal and then you get the
Then you
veal's
get
whole
to-
life. And then as you're eating it,
From
you're
birth
supposed
to death.
Right, birth to death, and you're supposed to feel guilty the entire time. Like,
You're starting to see why we call this F''n'Around. We can't stay on topic.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
what was it, that Rick and Morty spaghetti episode?
Oh, that was good.
What it is.
I love Rick and Morty. Shout out to Rick and Morty.
Shout out to Rick
That
and
show
Morty
is
for real,
brilliant.
though. I
That's
just
cool.
got up to the last season. It was episode or whatever right now. Like it was like 3 days ago. I seen that last one. It's pretty good.
It's really good.
It's just every time they veer off of like the story, the canon of the story, then I don't know where it just like pulls you right back onto it. It just I feel like the pacing has been really nice with it.
Oh my God, it just sounds like our show.
All over the board.
Speaking of which, right?
Go off on a tangent.
I like how every time we got past the joint, we gotta go past.
Yeah,
it.
that's it.
Like you
Hey,
said the
you
wrong
wanna
section,
switch,
bro.
yo? Yeah, you really did.
Mo, you just might want to jump in here.
Sooner or later, you're gonna catch your contact. Sooner or
And that's
later.
what I'm saying. I think I already got the contact right now.
No, you know what I was loving though, by the way, when I was getting the coffees and all this, we were joking around because your employees are so nice. They're super friendly. The coffee's
Appreciate it.
delicious. I'm on my third, by the way, and I'm gonna have like 4 shots of espresso each one. So yes,
All
I
of them
talk a million
THC
miles an hour
all
and
of
made
them
it so
THC
much
infused.
worse. But my favorite one was like I kept going because there's a lot of us here. We all drink the coffee, not only the host but our crew. Shout out to our crew. Thank
out
you
to
for
the crew.
being here and
Shout out
supporting
to the
us.
crew.
We would be nothing
Odyssey
without you
Studios.
guys.
Yup.
But I'm like, who's the coffee for? And she goes, the Lost guy.
Yeah, he looked like he was on the cast of Lost.
I'm tapping. Nah, you know what? I go for it. I ain't gonna tap out.
Yeah, you can tap it.
I can't do that,
Tap
right?
it.
I can't tap out. I was gonna say no, you can keep it, but
Oh,
gonna-
yeah. Well, when
I'm
you're
gonna go
done,
toe to toe with you.
I think when you're done,
Yeah.
it's done. And you know.
He's hoping it's not done. He said when it's done, it's done. But you know,
No, I said when he's
done, yeah.
sees
I think
these
you got a
people-
couple
I
more.
don't
in
want
there.
to smoke
He sees the other
paper.
ones right next
Yeah,
to you. He's like,
Yeah, we got a couple. Here
You got a
left
couple,
here.
man. Can't be wasting weed, man.
Yeah, well, that's the thing now. You know, with the legality of it now, it's just a lot less difficult to get it.
Yeah.
Again, you know, and it's like, yeah, you know what? Maybe I don't need the roach.
Yeah. I know, right?
Yeah, maybe
Look at you becoming
we go-
wasteful
we go
now,
Back,
you know?
Right?
back to the
And
greens.
when
We used to collect roaches.
Right, we collect them, open them up,
Right,
pour
when
them
I
all
was-
out, combine
Yeah.
into one super roach.
You
When I
know,
was
that was no
yeah.
longer a roach, but it tasted like a roach.
That's it.
Yeah, when I was in my
had
mid
that
twenties.
$10 for that dime bag, man.
Ooh, I'm not that old.
We're getting there, though, buddy. We are getting there.
Yeah, no, I'm no Willie Nelson. You know, I remember when a dime bag cost a dime.
I mean, for us, it's more relatable looking at the cigarettes. I was looking at the other day. I mean, I remember when they were like $2 a pack, which is still a lot compared to people way older than us, but we're talking double digits now.
Yeah, when my dad could send me to the convenience store to buy him a pack, right?
Right.
Like, my dad sent me here.
Can't say that anymore.
That was wild time.
Right?
Yeah, they was loud. They did allow kids to go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was wild.
I remember walking in the convenience store. I handed a guy like $2 or $3, and I was like, my dad told me to get him cigarettes. He said you would know which kind.
And that was back, but that was part of that
The
local.
whole pack, didn't you?
Yeah, 7. Yeah. However, I don't know how old I was. It happened. It definitely happened once.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That was that existed before gentrification, like before big developers.
Okay.
Which we don't really want to get in because that's the next thing we'll be going at. So you guys are aware, talking about development in cities and how they're ruining communities. But that was a big thing that kind of changed it when it wasn't where you knew everybody in the community, you're supporting it. You got the big business coming in and squeezing out the mom and pop. You got like these big corporations, just like in everything else. Everybody supports the independence until a big player comes in.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Corporations take the fun out of everything.
They really
Out of
do.
They
every
really,
shit,
they
yeah.
really.
And they come in
oh,
with that
man.
economy scale, and
Yeah.
the price is so
Yeah.
cheap, and you're so happy. And I mean,
Right.
then there's the things online where everyone's joking about this is the real version, this is the wish version, because all of a sudden you realize
Yeah.
when you start substituting actual quality and hand carried products, it's not going to last.
Yo,
Yeah, I don't think that weed smokers and their heightened level of consciousness can stand for corporate cannabis coming in and hijacking this industry. It'll be boring, man. It's just gonna destroy the fun of smoking.
I mean, I feel like unfortunately it's already kind of like getting to that point right now though. With at least like, I know a lot of people who they now just will go to like an industry or to a normal like cannabis like location,
Yeah.
just buy something from over there. But to me, I like that's one of the reasons why I stopped smoking too, is because I haven't really liked it after it became
Yeah,
like that.
it's
It
robotic.
it's not the same, like.
It's transactional.
It's not only transactional. It's like everything. Like it feels like it's processed.
Yeah.
It feels like it's processed. I don't like the high anymore.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Like I used to like it on occasion, but it's just now I don't like it.
That's one of the things we wanted to create here. We wanted to create a space that you can come and enjoy and
Yeah.
chill, and it's vibrant, it's got culture, it's got color, because the industry deserves that. Like if we was to make this just a bland experience,
Yeah.
I think that the biggest thing that people can do with the plant is connect and socialize and talk, because it does open up that third eye where certain conversations that may be difficult before, you can kind of connect and get on that same energy feel and have a better understanding. I personally think,
Or for me, the last time I did, I walked in circles and tried to walk it off because I
Yeah.
went super paranoid because I mixed this with my ADHD really bad. So like the only time it actually works really well was this strain out of California, Doug's Varon. It's like a super sativa THCV.
Okay.
It's basically a souped up version of Durban poison.
Got you.
So, which I love, and it was great because it actually seemed like it benefited my ADHD. It was like taking my medication for it. But the problem is because the margins aren't there, and the money isn't there to
They
do
don't
like
produce it.
they don't produce it because they don't care about what the benefit is anymore. They care about putting it out in massive scale.
All right. So what's like half of that part that he just said?
So basically, I'll translate for you. I got
Shout out to you.
I mean, we were only at THCD. You just jumped.
I just jumped out of it.
Jumped
He's like, shit, I just want to get high.
I'm learning new letters, new numbers every second right now. What's going on right here?
Yeah, so I mean, that's when you start looking deeper into the science.
Okay.
These different cannabinoids. One that he found, THCV, and he recognized that there was some holistic effects to it that he benefited from. And I think that's it's crazy because most smokers, you got two type of smokers. You got one that just want to party, and sometimes I'm both. At one moment I can be just I want to have fun and smoke and get high. But then sometimes it's like, all right, I want something that can help me chill out. I got a lot of things my mind works on and race. So sometimes taking a certain strand may actually have me be more relaxed and chill. And that's what he found. He found that. And what it is, because he found something that works for him, but it's not something that's mass produced, it's difficult for you to find it.
Correct. And because I found that and I knew it works, when I do something else and it doesn't work, it's almost
It's like,
why
why am I
bother?
doing it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
why am I doing it?
Yeah.
It's like I found something that actually works for me medically,
Yeah.
where I actually like it. It's holistic, it helps. But if I can't take it medically, what's
Right.
the issue?
No, I
And
get
then what happens with the price of that product because it's so much, more rare, I guess.
So
So now the price is going to go up.
In California, when I first found it, they only sold it in 0.3 grams as a pre-made
Wow.
vape. But the problem was it was already over $50, like 75, 80 in
Yeah.
California at 0.3 grams because if you look at the percents, as you're aware, it's so little percent in the plant is that
Right.
you have to process so much to make it.
Right. Yeah, that's tough.
Very tough. I know you got something else to say about this because you're trying to figure out the rest of the letters in your head. I could see you.
I'm thinking about.
Do you need
I'm
help
going.
with the
I'm going like A,
You want
B,
me to help
C,
you out?
D, E, F.
Hey, first we got the numbers, now the letters.
Yeah, right.
Where are we going next? Wait till we get into the lobbying where we start doing the decimal points between the other letters and the
Decimal
numbers.
points with these two right now.
I mean, you know what's been bugging me has been going through my head. Your partner, Tyrone.
Yep.
How many big canna corporations approached him to be on that social equity license? Because I'm thinking in my head, because I remember it back then. It might have changed now, but every big canna went out there and they're cutting contracts and agreements to pay everybody who could fit that social equity license, right?
Right.
But the law said that you can own the license and be on the license, but at that point, because of their criminal activity, they still couldn't be hired. So the big canna companies that would let you own that license, that they're going to own you and take it back from, obviously. But
Right.
let's play the game. But they wouldn't hire you to work for them, but they'd work with you to get you a license.
Yeah, it's funny, and that's weird because in our industry, we champion hiring people who have had past arrest issues with marijuana. I mean, at the end of the day, the black market is what created the legal market. If it wasn't people who were seeking this and somebody supplying it, it wouldn't be a industry at this point. So I champion those who had non-violent offenses and have been arrested to come and join our team.
You heard that? You heard it here. Come join him. Come reach out to him. He'll help you out.
Yeah, and that that just made me think when he said that, I would say moonshiners would probably be the only comparable,
Yeah, 100%.
like industry
Yeah.
where, the alcohol industry
I like where it's going.
is pretty much got its thing going on, right?
I like you guys, man.
And then, you look
like you
at
too, buddy.
This conversation I've been waiting to have. I've been looking for y'all, man. It's funny when you mention the alcohol prohibition, because the alcohol prohibition and probably a combination of a few other things. I'm a documentary, but I watch a lot of history and things like that.
Same.
So the alcohol industry prohibition is very resemblant of what's happening in the cannabis prohibition. And it's concerning to me because now what I know eventually is going to happen, it's going to be the black market is going to be destroyed by corporate cannabis. Because think about the alcohol industry. these moonshiners were doing this for hundreds of years. But once they legalized it and now, you could drink again, there's all this bad moonshine getting out, people going blind. They start to shed fear tactics on the black market to drive the revenue to the legal market. It's a strategy.
Moonshine madness.
Yeah.
I was about to say reefer madness.
And essentially, moonshine madness, right?
Right. And it's a playoff reefer madness.
Yeah.
That was the point.
And then when you think about it, the Rebel, I don't know if you guys watch NASCAR at all.
No.
NASCAR,
Not really.
No?
Not much,
Do y'all know NASCAR was created because of the alcohol prohibition?
Yeah.
That's cool,
No,
isn't it?
no.
Yeah.
I did not know
The
that.
whole concept was to build engines that could outrun the police.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
And then it became a
I got a new love for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always used to joke, I'm white, but I'm not NASCAR white.
Right. So it's amazing how these industries emerge from Prohibition era, and in a sense, I want us to resemble that rebel in the cannabis space, that fought for, equality and justices in this space and equity and inclusion.
That's amazing. And I would love Mo to touch on this, but knowing you love documentaries, I know Mo's got something in the works that we're going to be doing, so we'd love to talk off camera about the fact that they're actually working on some stuff for this industry to uncover the things that we've been talking about and on a broader scale. So if you like those, we might have some opportunities for the future.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah. We're still working on all the details and everything, but yeah, we'll definitely be reaching out.
All right, that'll work.
Actually, so Prohibition with your name, I'm assuming, did that come because of the alcohol prohibition? How did you come up with the name for it right now?
Well, I mean, me and my partner came up with the name, and honestly, it's just I look at it as it's the new prohibition, technically, you know what I mean, and it's actually resembling of the alcohol prohibition. Yeah, it's the way the strategy's playing out. I think that the name was fitting to be that new era prohibition fight. Alcohol prohibition has long been over, and this is the new industry that they're trying to monopolize.
New prohibition out here.
Yeah, new prohibition. Yep.
See, now, you were saying that before that you thought the black market for marijuana would go away because of this, and I almost feel the opposite. I feel like you're going to have, people that jump into the legal weed space because now it's legal, right? Mm-hmm. But at least in the state of Illinois, with the 30% tax, you're like, well, screw that, And then, you find out that your neighbor or whoever is like, oh yeah, I can get you some, some weed anytime you want. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then next thing you know, that, that dealer, that local weed man, has got a new customer.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna always have pockets of it for sure. Yeah. I mean, it's stupid to buy moonshine.
Right, that's what I mean.
On a larger scale, that's sustainable. All corporate cannabis has to really do is, they got plenty of money and they want to drive revenues up. They can put out tainted weed, and you already hear stories about weed that's laced with fentanyl. Who does that benefit? Putting fentanyl in weed.
Right.
As a drug dealer, like, I'm losing money.
Right. Like,
so essentially, what I would say people need to be concerned about is these corporate entities who want to drive revenues are willing to put out tainted weed to create fear amongst the black market marijuana. And it doesn't have to always happen immediately. They got plenty of money, so they look at it for a long-term investment. If I can slowly start distracting people from buying from the street market and then coming in store, and this may be a 10-year strategy, 10, 20-year strategy for all we know.
It's like the fake environmentalist type of thing, right?
Yeah.
It's that type of situation where, like, they hire a bunch of people who are supposed to be environmentalists who basically fuck up everything. And then now everybody's just like, well, fuck those people. We don't want to we don't want to side on their or go on their side anymore, right?
Right, exactly.
It's some type of thing like that. All right.
So essentially, their goal is to drive as much revenue as possible.
Yeah.
And my question to you is, when has corporate greed not won in America? In what industry?
Built off it, right? Like we just said, 80% of the wealth in this country is inherited.
Right.
Trickle down.
You think those people aren't part of all those people aren't part of corporations?
It usually gets their way.
They always do somehow, but the problem is the people never unite. They never get together, and then there's always the fact that. But the only issue, what I say, and I'll just say it right here, is the big difference in this industry that we might have a chance is the fact of the taxes. I think the taxes are the biggest issue with corporate cannabis now on a way to unite the people is the fact that what you're doing, what the hemp is doing, what is happening with that, is actually not only healthier for the consumer, but it's cheaper. So if you can unify under the fact for the first time ever, the economies of scale is not working in their benefit, this might be that chance to prove that pattern of hundreds of years that we've witnessed.
No, for
wrong.
sure. No, it's definitely an opportunity to overcome the historic norms. So for sure, you know.
I also think to be in corporate Canada, they should have done hair tests or checked the records, because all these people in these big Canada companies, most of them never touched the drug in their life.
No, for
most
sure.
of them weren't even familiar with it, and most of them were the ones drug tested and firing their employees of the last company. And they would have never touched cannabis if it wasn't for the fact that they saw money signs and dollar
for
signs
sure.
everywhere.
Oh, yeah, and then how many, former elected officials are now part of, large cannabis companies or cannabis lobbies or whatever, it's like,
I don't even want to
yeah.
smoke with y'all. Why would I want to support you?
Right.
You know, that's my rule. If I can't smoke with you, I don't want to support you. Half of the ones that's operating in this cannabis space from the corporate side, they really need to start digging deeper and see how many profited off the prison system.
Yo.
So you got it off the backs of getting people incarcerated for the plant, and now you're trying to keep people out of the industry. So it's definitely a lot of loopholes. I mean, a lot of different ways you can go about looking into this.
It's very hypocritical.
They've been locking everybody who smoked that got caught up for it for the longest fucking time, making how much money off of them.
Yeah.
And then now talking about, I've been smoking my whole life, and I'm this and I'm that, all pro for it.
Yeah.
It's
for sure.
it's a crazy thing.
Yeah,
Right?
and then
The
I'll
hypocrisy.
start a conspiracy theory right now. How many of those people that own those prisons now are part owners of cannabis
That's what I'm
companies?
saying. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Yeah.
Hey, did the weed kick in yet?
No. I'm just trying to break it down. Sorry.
Sorry.
Man, you made me understand what I just said a lot better.
I tend to do that sometimes.
I bet you they got packaging made out of orange slippers, too. Got those little orange sandals going?
All right. Let's see. Before, so we're running kind of low on time right now, but we're probably gonna continue this on to the next episode. Before we close off, I do want to shout out Brittany and Co. For her company.
Shout out Brittany and Company.
Shout out Brittany and Company.
Bringing
right?
Sam to
For
us.
bringing Sam over here to us, so we can interview you, have you as a guest with us, to have a great conversation and great smoke session.
Yeah.
Yeah, great smoke.
I like the delay. I love the delay.
Well, I mean, look, I'm no lightweight, right? So it was a joint.
It was.
a
It
joint.
still didn't hit you.
It was a joint.
Hey,
say
we
it.
got to get something short.
It's a joint.
You already
Oh,
pulled it.
man, look. You know we're going some more.
All right, before we start this up right now, right? Let's continue the conversation onto next episode, or maybe a segment of it. We'll see what we'll do with this. We're gonna work it out, and
Depends how it goes. Either way, we'll be posted all online after
Yes, it
this
will.
airs. And
We'll
make
have a
sure
full
you go
episode
check out
for
his
it.
websites and support the cause and the movement, because the only thing that can change is your support.
Yeah, I think we're just gonna take a quick little break, and we'll come back and give you some bonus.
oh yeah. So
right.
thank you everybody for joining us today, and we still don't have a shout out.
Shout out to you guys for
Shout out to
making
you
this go
guys,
on.
yeah.
Shout out to
Yeah.
iHeartRadio for making it happen. And shout out to Sam for hosting.
Yeah, shout
Great
out to
coffee, great
312
everything.
All and Timeless Wolf Productions. Thank
Timeless
you
Wolf
guys.
Productions. The Clover Club is not here today because we're here today.
We're not at.
We're not at the
Oh,
Clover
happily.
Club.
We'll keep doing this.
You talk like you're.
Oh, and by
high,
the way,
man.
we'll be posting up some
talk like
promo
you're
stuff
high.
that you'll see.
I told you I got secondhand high from this.
Yeah, it's called a contact high.
And just going back and forth.
And we call it secondhand. It's secondhand
Secondhand
smoke.
smoke. What's the difference?
I don't know, semantics. Secondhand smoke gives you a contact high.
And cut.
That was fun.
Analyze, mama thrives. We rise up, keeping truth alive. Corruption falls, great denied. And from the system we won't hide. Break it down, bass shakes the ground. cause we're